dusty sights. I've never been sure the part we play, the way we are. Baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now.
The last time the Panthers won the Super Bowl, 2004, losing 32-29. They played the Patriots when Adam Vinatieri made clutch field goals. Detroit Pistons beat LA Lakers in the NBA Finals. That was the Kobe and Shaq feud. The Boston Red Sox win the World Series after 86 years, beating the St. Louis Cardinals in 4 games. That's the same year the Red Sox came back and beat the Yankees 4 in a row when they were down 3-0. Usher, Confessions sold the most albums, just under 8 million. And in 2004, guess how many black actors were nominated for the Oscars? The answer is 2. Don Cheadle for Hotel Wanda and Jamie Foxx, who won it for the movie Ray. This is Sports and Oxygen Tank with Jason Fernandez. Welcome to my show. It's the first time hosting. Glad to be here at Brooklyn Radio. Well, everybody remembers when the Broncos won the Super Bowl. That was about 2 years ago. They lost to the Seahawks in New York. It snowed all week except for that day when the game started, and it was a beautiful 50 degrees. Next day, the snowstorm was here. But first, let me start off with the game that happened last night. Golden State Warriors vs. Washington Wizards. A very good matchup. John Wall vs. Stephen Curry, and the game did not disappoint. Stephen Curry had 36 points in the first half with 8 3-pointers, shooting 13 for 14 from the field. John Wall, he came to play too. He finished off with 41 points for the game. Golden State won. It was a good game to watch. Golden State won 134-121. John Wall scored 41 points, 10 assists. Stephen Curry scored 51 points, 7 rebounds, 11 threes, 7 in the first quarter. Of course, Draymond Green, he had a triple-double, but I guess that's common for him. That's his 10th of the season. The reason why you saw Washington Wizards with Chinese symbols on their jersey was because of Chinese New Year's yesterday. So I was curious when I saw the letters and stuff. I thought they were just trying to promote throughout the world, but there was a reason for it. There's a method. And well, facts worth noting for the Super Bowl. Since the Super Bowl is this Sunday, Super Bowl 50, big 5-0. Even if it was 49 or 51, it's still a big Super Bowl, right? So, if Peyton wins this Super Bowl, it will make it his 200th victory of his career, passing Brett Favre and giving him the most wins of any player who ever played in the NFL. That's pretty impressive. That's like really building your own statue. Indianapolis Colts, Denver. He's going to have 2 in 2 places if he wins. He probably will retire as a Colt, but it's Super Bowl 50, and the NFL uses numbers instead of Roman numbers. 50 in Roman numbers is a big fat L. It's an L. I could see why the NFL didn't want to use the symbol for many reasons besides just loser or L, you know. But this is the 12th Super Bowl in California. Only Florida hosted more with 15. Last time San Francisco hosted a Super Bowl was 30 years ago. A lot of us wasn't even born yet. And this might be like a meaningless fact for now, but Houston, Texas will be hosting the next Super Bowl next year. Yeah, that's me turning my pages. Well, there's been a lot of controversy this week. Unnecessary controversy. I wish it wasn't about Cam Newton and the race card, but because he's so good and he shouldn't have said a couple of things to light the fuel to these reporters. And he's always been criticized all year for his antics on the field, which is kind of going away from what he does during the games instead of his celebrations. I think Trey Boston, his safety for Carolina Panthers, may have said it the best. Cam is just being himself. He's not being egotistic. And that's why I kind of, well, that's why I really like Cam Newton. He's not acting. This is him. This is him enjoying football. Every time you see him on the field, he always has a smile. It's just so genuine. It's hard to hate the guy, and yet there's so many people who's going after him. Let's see. Cam said in a response, "I don't want to be." Hold on, excuse me. Let me play what he said.
You know, and I've said it since day one. You know, I'm an African-American quarterback that may scare a lot of people because they haven't seen nothing that they can compare me to. Here I am. I'm doing exactly.
That was a couple of days ago, and then he followed up with reports yesterday when they actually really abused. The reporters actually went on with the questioning about it, and Cam, in response, said, "I don't want to be talking about black quarterbacks because this game is bigger than black, white, and even green," which I'm assuming green is talking about money. So I think he's trying to backtrack off of that comment because it's bringing a little too much negative attention to what has been a stellar season for him. He's going to win the MVP, and they only lost one game. And most people are saying that this team isn't really good compared to the other teams that have won Super Bowls or made it to the Super Bowl because I guess nobody's seen this coming, but they've played consistent all year long. They had one bad game, and that is it. So for people to think that the Carolina Panthers aren't the truth, watch the season. You haven't watched the season at all. All you've been paying attention to is his dancing instead of the whole team. I mean, Cam Newton has progressed from a passer from the first day he got into the NFL to today. He's just throwing the ball so accurate. And imagine if he had a Calvin Johnson on his team. I'm gonna talk about Calvin Johnson later on in the show too, because that's amazing. But he really doesn't have elite receivers. He has a great tight end, Greg Olsen, one of the best in the NFL. So ESPN, I love ESPN. I love watching ESPN. But they made a poll because it seemed that the attention, like, I don't know, but it just had to be, like, touched upon. They wanted to see because it raised black and white people. So they made a poll. They asked about on-field celebrations between black and white fans. They separated from black and white people the different answers. 705 people answered. 85% of black people like his celebrations. 51% of white people like it. 11% of black people dislike it, while 43% white do not like it. But my problem with the poll is that I wanted to know the age of these people, because it doesn't matter the race. It just matters wherever you grew up. A lot of people, the older generation, do not like the celebrations. The younger crowd, they enjoy it. I loved watching Chad Johnson. I would love to see what he would do next after he scored a touchdown. Trevor Owens, taking the pom-poms and started celebrating. Joe Horn, I believe that was his name, who pulled out a cell phone from his sock to celebrate after he scored on the Giants, nonetheless, too, Monday night. But I guess race has been really a big factor all year long, with, like, not only in sports but in general public, then to the Oscars, and now the Super Bowl. And it's a shame because this is a great matchup. You have two of the top defenses playing against each other. You have one quarterback who could go out on top and basically passing the vein to Cam Newton. Because Peyton Manning many would say he was the face of the NFL. You see him in all those commercials. Cut that meat. Cam Newton's up and coming, and he's paid his dues. It's not like he's new. He's been here for like 3-4 years. And he is especially nice. So they did another poll. ESPN did on. Is it because, if, why is Cam Newton under so much criticism? Is it because of race or on-field actions? On-field actions, I'm assuming, is the celebrations, because if you don't like his on-the-field play, then there's something wrong with you. That, anyways, 12% of people said race, while 12% of white people said because of race, while 34% of blacks said it was. Now, on the field actions, Cam Newton dancing after score, dabbing on them folks. Whites say 63% is the reason, and blacks say 38%. And it's really unfortunate because there's so much more we could talk about. I could talk about more into the depth of the game instead of this has been such a hot topic of late that I saw ESPN trying to move away from it later on in the day because it was just so unfortunate that well, it's not their fault, but you follow news and this is what it was, the big news. People complain about how Cam Newton came off the airplane in a Versace pants. He looked like a wrestler. It looked like wrestler pants, those tight pants, crutched up. And Peyton Manning, he goes in his, professional professional suit with a white shirt, button down. Straight business while Cam Newton is enjoying himself like he always does. While he's on the field, off the field, every time he scores a touchdown, he dances, yes. Then he gives the football to a kid. Any kid that has a Panther jersey, he gives a football, which is kind of interesting because you know how people score a touchdown in the Super Bowl? I wonder if he's going to give that football away because most of the times players keep it for memories. So I would like to see the Vegas odds on that because, Vegas, they always have a bet on something. And Stephen Curry is a big Carolina Panthers fan. He's going to be attending. They have a line on what he's going to wear. Self-made Carolina jersey with Curry on the back, or Cam Newton jersey, or somebody else. But I think he said he's going to wear a T-shirt that's specially made. Let's see, what else do I have here? All right, from Cam Newton going to the Super Bowl and the Panthers, who did a tremendous job all year, to Peyton Manning with a roller coaster of a season. Benched during the middle of the season. They say it was because he was hurt. All right, fine. I'll give it to him because he's Peyton Manning and he has never played the way he has played this season. So the options of him coming back next year is up in the air. I think he's going to retire no matter the outcome. A lot of reports are saying that he will go to LA Rams. I think he'd be crazy to do that because I think it really is time for him to move on, win or lose. No matter what happens in this game, his career is cemented as one of the greats. Now, if he wins another Super Bowl, his career will obviously be a lot better, but one Super Bowl is fine enough, and what he has accomplished is really, really well. Cam Newton, he could be the face of the NFL. I don't know how many people like that. I do. I love it. He smiles all the time. Off field, he does a lot of charity work. He's always for the kids. I mean, he's such a great human being that you judge him off of dancing after he scores a touchdown. Who doesn't like that? I don't know why it's an issue, but I like him. I like seeing him do that. His teammates like seeing him do that. And I think a lot of people who don't like seeing him do that are Carolina Panthers fans. So, of course, they want to see him dance because that means they scored. And guess what? They're going to end up winning the game. That's another thing about the polls. I want to know how many of them were Panther fans. A lot of them could have been other teams that don't even like the Panthers. But it could have been Saints fans. that did the voting. So you have a good game this Sunday, February 7, Super Bowl 50. Carolina Panthers versus the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos have a great defense. They took care of the Patriots, which I knew that was going to happen. The Patriots just could not match up with that defense. DeMarcus Ware is hungry. That whole defense is hungry. And so is the Panthers. Cam says what? Cam Newton says if Panthers play at their best and any other team play at their best, the Panthers will win. I kind of agree with him. The only thing is that I think injuries are becoming a factor with the Panthers. Jared Allen, broken foot, not playing. Thomas Davis Jr.? Senior. He has a broken elbow. I'm not too sure about that, but I know he has to wear a cast, and he will play. I mean, I don't blame him. It's a Super Bowl. Who wouldn't want to? Very underrated linebacker, especially when you're playing next to Luke Kuechly. But as predictions go, I don't see how the Panthers are going to lose. I don't see how they're going to be contained, even though they're going up against the number one defense. I think the Panthers defense will score. The Panthers are going up against the Broncos' number one defense, and Panthers have a good defense too. I believe that defense is going to score as well, the Panthers defense, and it won't even be a close game. I think Panthers will win 49-20. Peyton Manning could still ride off in the sunset because there's nothing you could do about his career. He 18 years in the NFL. Fittingly enough, his jersey number is 18. I say this is the last game he'll play in the NFL. He could do so many other things. Why risk it? He needs hip surgery, something like that. It's his neck. He doesn't turn around when you speak to him if he's not looking at you. I mean, it's time for Peyton Manning. It's been a beautiful ride, and I love watching him. He's won me a couple of fantasy football championships. Well, I did. I picked a good team. He just helped, dominate. But anyways, thank you, Peyton Manning, for the beautiful years. Appreciate it. Cam Newton, I can't wait to see more of you, man. Don't let these people tell you how to act. That's just not how it works, and Cam Newton is not that type of person to listen. So from that, I'm gonna transition. Oh, should I even talk about the Pro Bowl? No, right? I think the only question about the Pro Bowl I have to ask is, why is this still on? I mean, it's great for the players. It's great for the reporters to go to Hawaii. But ratings speak for itself, and it's kind of time to move on from that, too. Or do something. Have like a passing competition. Who could throw further? Who could throw more accurate? You know how the NBA has the All-Star Weekend where the point guards dribble down the court, crossover, pass, free throw. Have events like that. Who can run faster? Odell Beckham Jr. or Richard Sherman? And make it more exciting. Make it more of a competition, one-on-one competition. Which lineman could push more people on a on a boat? Well, not a boat, but which lineman could, who's stronger, who could push people more. There's ways you could do this. Running back could do the cuts and then run to the touchdown as fast as he can. I mean, it should be a weekend event, make it more exciting, and then maybe you'll get more ratings. I don't know, but you got to try it first, so then you'll be able to know. So let's go to the NBA, which, All-Star Weekend is not this weekend, but the next weekend, which is always exciting to watch, no matter who's in it. But I'm not actually going to talk about the All-Star game. I'm talking about Kevin Durant, and quite a few people saying there's a good chance he goes to the Golden State Warriors as a free agent after this year. I think That's ridiculous. I don't know why would Golden State want him. They're already great as is. They just have to pay a lot more money, which they could just pay Harrison Barnes instead. I can understand why they would say Kevin Durant, but you have such a great thing going on. You won this championship last year. You have an MVP that's probably going to win it again. And you probably will win the second championship again, depending if you face the Spurs. But, I mean, the championship is going to be the West Coast West Coast. Yeah. The Western Conference Finals. That's going to be the best matchup of the league, of the season. Kevin Durant going to Golden State is sad if he does, just to get a championship. Where is that motivation of being the man to help bring a championship to a city? OKC loves you, and you should be wanting to get them a championship as much as you can. Do what LeBron James did when he went to Miami, but just stay in Oklahoma City and take a pay cut so they could bring more people in, so they could bring back James Harden, because that's the only way you're going to the finals, it seems like. And that was probably your best opportunity if you don't end up doing something different. I do believe that Kevin Durant, if he don't win it this year with Russell Westbrook, I think he might have to do some changes, because it hasn't worked yet. I think it's time for you to move on, man. Go to maybe even the Clippers, but that's still, again, go to DC. Go to the team that you want to be happy with. But Golden State, it's just not really one. Yeah, that's just going to be straight dominance of the NBA, and you already know who's going to win the finals. Even before the season starts, if he goes there, and it will really kill the NBA. There's reports that Boston Celtics are fishing for Dwight Howard for a trade. He's a free agent after this year, I believe. He could opt out. And there's been numerous reports that they are inquiring about Dwight Howard. That tells me a couple of things. That means that the Celtics think the East is wide open. They are currently sitting in third place. And Houston Rockets are willing to move Dwight Howard. Could mean I don't know why they don't want Dwight Howard in the Houston Rockets. I guess if Dwight Howard learn how to shoot free throws, he will be an asset. He will win a championship. They will stop following him. And then James Harden, and then could start playing more. Dwight Howard could play down the stretch playing defense. Got to remember, Dwight Howard in Orlando was a superstar. He took Orlando Magic to the finals on his back. So, he's been hurt the past few years, but he's healthy now, and he could play. Just needs to be motivated. And the way to motivate a man that always laughs at everything, I crack jokes at him, I guess. But Dwight Howard going to the Celtics would really give the Celtics a upper hand when you still have Cleveland Cavaliers trying to figure out what's going on, how to figure this out. And the Knicks keep falling. Well, let's say plummeting. Let's just say falling, right? They're 11th place. We'll touch on that in a few. Yesterday was also National Signing Day. That means high school kids are recruited to go to college to play football. High school kids. I think that they're still growing their mustache. High school kids who are going on national television declaring what school they will be going to, what school they'll be attending, and what school they will be helping win a national championship. And most of these kids don't even make it to the NFL. Their aspirations are to go to college, spend 2 years there, and then jump to the NFL. But people don't realize that the NFL average player is 3.5 years. And it's not even enough money that you make to last for the rest of your life. You're going to have to invest with that money. So, I don't know if kids are properly educated on this, but these are 17, 18-year-old kids being exploited. I feel like it. I mean, Michigan Wolverines, John Harbaugh, the coach, and the Michigan Wolverines did a huge event where Tom Brady, Derek Jeter, Migos, the Rappers were there, Lou Holtz, and Ric Flair. Woo! I don't even know if I said that right, but it's been a while since I've seen him wrestle. But all of them were there celebrating in a stadium, theater stadium where they talked about Michigan Wolverine becoming a Michigan Wolverine and winning championships, and it was kind of I don't know, man. You just need to tone it down. It's high school kids. They just graduated from. They didn't even graduate from high school. But that being said, I'm gonna move on because I don't really think that's a great idea for these kids. Because after their college years and whatever happens, if God forbid they get hurt, their season and their dreams are over, and then everybody else does. They just move on. But it's time for New York sports. The four-borough edition. In Manhattan for the New York Knicks, Derek Fisher said, "It will not be disappointing if the Knicks. It will be disappointing if the Knicks. No disappointment if the Knicks miss the playoffs." Derek Fisher said there will be no disappointment if the Knicks miss the playoffs. Now, the first time I heard that, my first thought was, I wonder what Melo was thinking. I wanted to see his face. I wanted to see how far his jaw dropped. Did it drop to his neck, his chest? Probably drop all the way to the floor. Melo signed a 5-year contract thinking he's going to win a championship in the first 2 years. Last year, they only won 25 games. This year, I'm doing a lot better, but I actually think that was the worst thing that could have happened to the Knicks. Starting the season off very well, already eclipsing their last season win total and getting expectations. And that was the problem. Expectations for a team that shouldn't have any for this season. It should have been a rebuilding season, but starting off so hot, you got fans wanting more. The confidence of the team was building, growing. That was good, but it could have sustained for the whole length of the season, 82 games. And I'd rather have seen them play as well as they did in the beginning of the season, more like towards the end of the season. So you have something to look forward to next season, all these young players, and you have an off season to work together. But for them to start off so hot, expectations rose, and questions started being asked. What's going on? What happened? They're going to slip. They're a young team, and Melo's, he's not a superstar. He's an all-star. He can't carry a team. Example, last year, he couldn't do it. So them getting off to a hot start like that was just not their best friends. And Fisher, this is what he meant by it. It's not going to be a disappointment if they miss the playoffs. This is a growing season. This is for KP, Kristaps Porzingis, Jeremy Grant to learn and get better and build up stamina. And why not? While you at it, get a good draft pick next season. If they have any, I have to look at that. But now we're moving on to the Bronx, where the Yankees lose Greg Bird for the entire 2016 season, which must be a big blow to Yankee fans because what he showed he could do last season in the second half. And he did look good. And Mark Teixeira being healthy for the whole season, no, nobody believes that. I don't think he even believes that. I think he should. They say yoga helps your athleticism, by staying healthy. You should try doing that. Strong believer. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said he used to do that. It helped him in his career. Mark Teixeira might be too bulky to do that, but the Yankees said they're not going to try to do anything to replace the depth that they needed. I think this is the opportunity to use one of their prospects, Gary Sanchez. He's a catcher. Teach him a little first base, and maybe that could help them with some depth. Or pick up Pedro Alvarez. He's from the Bronx. Pedro Alvarez was a third baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Took them a couple of years to realize that he's not really good at defense, and they didn't re-sign him. So now he's a free agent, just sitting out there, probably hanging out in the Bronx. He could probably walk to the stadium as soon as they give him a call and sign him. But the Yankees, that's a big loss for the Yankees and Greg Bird. The progression, the at-bats, the plate discipline that he would have learned, the pitching, the way they would have pitched to him. He's 22. So, moving on, in the most diverse place in the world, Queens, Mets yesterday held a press conference for Yohan Cespedes, signing him, which was a good moment for Mets fans. The excitement. I mean, even though there was official, they signed it, but they made the press conference. How can you not sign a man who wants to come back? And not for nothing. That's a great contract that Cespedes got. Is for the money, great. The years for the Mets, great. Cespedes could opt out after 1 year. Why? Why would he opt out? He's gonna make $27 million the first year. It's a 3-year contract, $75 million. Why would he walk away from $45 million? Plus, he'll make money off of advertising because he's in New York. He's gonna be getting invited to golf tournaments because he likes playing golf. And there's a lot of golf courses in New York. So I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't opt out, but they say everybody who has an opt-out option always opt out. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money that he will opt out from. I mean, anyways, we can also talk about some Division III, Region 15 basketball. LaGuardia Community College Redhawks. The Mets basketball team is 13-12 and 6-4 in the conference. Lady Redhawks, who are nationally ranked, are 17-5, 10-0 in their conference. Kaylin Richburg, a sophomore, was named the Region 15 Athlete of the Month in November, averaging 20 points, 8 assists, and 4 steals. I just had to bring that up because that team is making noise. And finally, well, let's see what else I could do, but the Brooklyn Bulldogs segment, my expertise. I am a beat reporter for the Bulldogs. Don't let anybody else tell you different. I know about them. Lady Bulldogs on Tuesday. Well, Lady Bulldogs, they are 14-7, 10-3 in the CUNYAC division. Coach Alex Lang on Tuesday. They beat York College in the first of the doubleheaders of the Bulldogs doubleheader, 85-34. The first time these two teams played was in York College in January 5th, and they won there too. But this time, that was Coach Lang's 200th victory as a Bulldog coach. Seemed like a lot of 200. Weird number to be bringing up a lot, but it's the second time of somebody who actually won 200 games. And I was there for that moment. And this is what he had to say. How did it feel, game?
Honestly, it just felt like another game. It was nice to have people congratulate me and that sort of thing. A few people called me up, texted me, congratulations, that sort of thing. People that saw it on the website, but it was just another game. I mean, when you win something like that, a 200th game, first thing you just think is, wow, I've been doing this a long time, and you kind of think back on some of the other teams and some of the accomplishments that we've had throughout my career here at Brooklyn.
Well, when he said that he's been doing it for a long time, he's been doing it for 14 seasons with the Brooklyn Bulldogs. He's won he won 4 times Coach of the Year as Brooklyn Bulldog head coach. So congratulations to Coach Alex Lang, the Lady Bulldogs head coach, commander-in-chief. Well, for the game on Tuesday, they won 85-34. Olivia Colbert She's a power forward. Had 21 points and 11 rebounds. Tawanda Holder scored 14 points. And Kevin Make, I got to learn how to pronounce that last word, but I'll figure it out. Had 8 points and 10 assists. The Lady Bulldogs, they have Taylor Gallagher. She's a starting point guard. She really sets the tone for the Lady Bulldogs. She has a very smart basketball IQ. She could score. She could shoot. She could dribble. She could crack people on the floor, and she does that very well. Justin Vento, she could shoot. She has a very beautiful jump shot. Every time she shoots, it looks like the ball is going to go swish in. Go in. I'm amazed that it touches the net. She is a jump shooter, and she starts, and she lets it rain. Alexandra Morgan, she's another shooter. She comes off the bench. She gives them a lot of energy. Olivia Kober, she's a junior. She's averaging a double-double for the season, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Aja Thomas Maya is a center and protects the paint on defense. She's tall. I'm 5'10". She's taller than me. I think she might be 5'11", 6 feet. But I don't know if this is okay to say, but I do think the Lady Bulldogs, they are overachieving. Now, you would think that's a bad thing, but no, I think it's better than underachieving. So they're doing a lot better than what they are a young team. They lost a lot of seniors last year, so the expectations of them this year was not that high, but from what they're doing now and from the beginning of the season, they are growing, and the Knicks can learn from what they are doing. Progress, not regress. As for the men's Bulldogs, they are 16-5 and 9-4 in the CUNYAC. They played the second game of the doubleheader on Tuesday, and they lost to York 96-94 in double overtime on a last-second shot because they looked like it was going into triple overtime, which I don't know about everybody else, but triple overtime seems like I'm going to be going to bed late, and I have school the next day, and I got schoolwork, and I need to be rested. I try to drink only 1 cup of coffee, but if I'm going to be going to bed that late, it's going to be a little issue. But they did lose. Exxon Jumbalaj, who is a star, scored 28 points and had 19 rebounds. Unfortunately, he fouled out in the first overtime. Lorenzo Williams and Dylan Williams added 18 points. This men's Bulldogs team is filled with seniors. One actually already graduated. Exxon's brother, Edon. He's graduated, so he's no longer with the team, which was a big man that they actually need now, because they lost one to injury, and they have Exxon playing 3, 4, and 5. Whatever they need him to do, he is doing, and he's averaging 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists, and including a season high of 42 points against Hunter. A good game, too. Very close, and every point mattered. But 42 points, that's pretty impressive when you only play 40 minutes. And in that game, I'm not sure how many minutes he played, but he sure has some rest. So for the men's Bulldogs, 7 seniors, and they were nationally ranked earlier in the season, ranked 24. So their next game, both doubleheaders on Friday against, who are they playing against? I will have to look that up, but they are playing against another team, obviously another team. I will be broadcasting that game. I will be the sideline reporter in the first game in the ladies, and then I will be the color commentary for the men in the second game. This is my first time doing that, so it'll be a little nerve-wracking. This is my first time having a radio show all by myself. I interned with She's Mic'd Up with him and her, Samantha Rodriguez and Javier Gutierrez. Got to thank them because they taught me a lot. I learned a lot from those two. So Well, it seems like I've run out of things to talk about. But you can follow me at Twitter, Jason_Lux. I post pictures, videos, and highlights of the Brooklyn Bulldogs there. So if you want to just watch a video of how the game went, I got a video of Hunter vs. Brooklyn Bulldogs there. I have a couple of videos of Alex Lang's 200 victory. So whatever you want to find out about Brooklyn Bulldogs, you can always go to that Twitter. You can always go to the website. Now you can go listen to the games on Spreaker.com and listen live or after recorded. But that's it for me. My first show ever is done. Proud of myself. I got into it. Super Bowl Sunday, this Sunday. Number 50, the Big L. Panthers are going to win. I wouldn't be upset if the Broncos win. Peyton Manning, great career. Talk about this more later on. And thank you very much. This is Jason Fernandez. Sports and Oxygen Tank is the name of the show.
Decides I've never been sure the part